I struggle with these ideas of on the one hand, the gentle state that is tolerant, and on the other hand, as it gets you looking away at 1 o'clock at night under the cover of dark, it launches a shock and awe operation. Any thoughts about this?
Well, it's certainly true that the United States in general, New York City in particular, are not extreme examples of repressive states. And it's also true that the police department, like other police departments, has done a lot of work over the last few decades on improving its tactical ability to carry out this sort of operation. Police departments have learned new and better techniques for crowd control. They've learned tactics that they use to manage protests at certain global events, at G8 or WTO meetings and so forth. And so this extends into a competent version of the police action. But competence doesn't mean benign. It means that they did what they intended to do in a way that worked well for them. That is analogous to saying that the military is going to have embedded reporters in the Iraq invasion and hope that it has better news coverage as a result. But it should not be lost on anyone that this is managing the news coverage. And so taking this action in the middle of the night, blocking the news media so that they couldn't get closer than several blocks away to this and wouldn't have the visuals they might have had of the actual clearing of the park, is a direct action of the government to try to stifle public awareness of what public officials are doing. And we need to make no bones about that. The government is setting out to limit public awareness of what public officials are doing. We can see accounts of it offered by the mayor or others. We can see the results that the park is now empty and, quote, cleaned up. But we can't see the actions they're taking. And therefore, I think we need to take this really seriously as a challenge to the public sphere of a democratic society, as a challenge to the transparency of government. So there's a question about legality. And it may well be that this was a legal action. Courts have differed, right? But we now have an appellate court speaking. That's not, to me, the most basic question. Neither is the question simply one of First Amendment rights, though that's a very important set of issues. It's really a question of whether this action, right, is an action taken in accord with the democratic ideal of public awareness of what the government is doing and a public capacity to protest and sometimes check what the government is doing, or not. And I would say this action was directly hostile to that. It's not unique to New York. Cities across the country have taken similar actions. Even ostensibly progressive Portland, Oregon has taken essentially the same action. College and university presidents have taken much the same sort of action from Harvard to Berkeley. Right? We need to ask what it means if the public sphere is being closed down and if public ability to see what's going on is being limited.